Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dave here with Go Gamers, and today we got an interesting one. Today we have an Xbox Series X that is turn it on and turn it off immediately. So let's take it over to the upper cam and see if we can get this repaired today. All right, so as you can tell, we have this Xbox Series X, and this is very interesting on what this one does. So I want to try to turn it on and show you guys this one. Now, I've repaired a lot of Xbox Series game consoles, and about, I want to say almost all of them have been HDMI ports, and a couple have been like SSD issues. So this is my first time seeing this issue with the Xbox Series. Now, here's the thing about it. If you have been already doing repairs over on Xbox Ones, the repairs is pretty much the same exact type of deal over here on the Xbox Series. So there's a series of steps that you could be able to take for yourself to be able to diagnose what the issue is. And we're going to use those same steps when it comes to this Xbox Series. So let's go over here to the upper cam and check it out. I actually want to turn off my cam. Let's see if I can get that out. There it is. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold down the sync button, the eject button, and then I'm going to press the power button while holding those two buttons down. And what's going to happen is if it turns on and goes into safe mode, that means it's more than likely an SSD issue, meaning that we should either have to repair the SSD in it, or we would have to replace that M2 2230 SSD that's inside of the game console. Now, if it doesn't go into safe mode and it just immediately just turns right back off, typically that's going to, when it comes down to like the Xbox One, it's usually going to be something on the motherboard. It could be something on the power rails as far as like the power MOSFET. So let's see what we get. So I'm going to hold down the sync button as so, like right here. Hold down the eject button, press the power button. So you can see it immediately cut off. So it doesn't even want to go into safe mode, which means that this is going to be an issue on the motherboard. So let's take it down to the board and see what we got. And I'm going to be honest, it's very hard to find parts for these newer generation consoles. So I'm interested to see what we could be able to find. And also, it could also be water damage. I forgot to add that one in there as well, because I see that happen a lot with this type of issue. But let's go ahead and get this down to the motherboard, see what we can get done on this console, and see if this is a console that we can be able to repair. So let's get this taken apart. All right, so we actually, I think I might have just figured out Blue's Clues. Now it's kind of hard to see. I want to show you guys on the upper cam. I might have to pull out the microscope to show you guys. You see that ribbon, how it looks ate up. I looked at it and I knew something was off, because when I was trying to pull it out, I was like, huh, this doesn't even feel right. When I went and I pushed the button, I immediately saw this, and I went, pushed the button, and it came out real awkward like. So I've never seen anything like this. All right, so that's kind of clear. Let me take out this PSU. As you can see, it's chewed up, and it's just the left one that's chewed up. So this is interesting, because I did not expect it to be this. And I've never seen this on all the Xbox Series that I've repaired. where this cord was just chewed up like this. All right, so we are under the microscope, and it's kind of hard to see. You can see how it's all gunked up in there, where it looks like that plastic just melted in there. And as you can see from what the board says, one side is the 12 volt, the other side is the ground. Hopefully you guys can see that just fine. So it looks like the side that is the ground somehow got ate up in there. So this is going to be an interesting one because we could definitely maneuver a couple different ways. I'm really thinking about doing this, and I'll show you guys under the microscope, because obviously I don't have no spare PSUs, nothing, because this console is so new. I'm more inclined to rip off that cord and to just solder it down straight to the ground instead of even trying to go through that. So I think we could take a toothbrush, some 99% IPA, we clean up this area, and we just solder that wire down straight to the ground. I think that will be the best practical method. We could cut the wire before it got burnt to where the wire will be salvageable, so we won't have to just replace the entire wire, and see how that works for us. So let's go over here to the upper cam. Let's go on ahead and first grab a toothbrush. I'm gonna grab 99% IPA. I'll show you what I use right here. This is what I use. This is 99% IPA. You can use any type of alcohol. This is just what I personally use. I know everyone has their own preference. So I'm just gonna clean up this area. All right, so now I'm gonna set that to the side. We're gonna grab our PSU, and this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna grab my small wire cutters, my small little tweezers, and try to bring the camera a little bit closer. And if you guys are interested in getting these small little tweezers, I actually have everything that I use in the description. So they'll be in the description. As you can see, this wire literally is really jacked up, really bad. So we're gonna have to open this up and see how far down this even goes. Yeah, you can see the burns on the copper wire. Like if there was a power surge and it burnt it all up. That is interesting. We should just be able to clean this up and be able to take our solder iron, apply some solder to stiffen this up, and then put this on our motherboard. So let me grab my toothbrush again, and I'm gonna just clean up this copper wire. Try to get in there. Get this clean. Now what I'm gonna do now is twist it. As you can see, I'm just twisting it up so it can try to get it stiffened up and just tight. All right, while my solder iron is heating up, this is the type of solder I'm going to be using. I got the exact type of solder in flux that I use in my videos down in the description if you need to get that. So we're going to apply a little bit of flux on here so we can help the solder flow better. What we're going to do is we're going to take just that small part of the solder, and we're going to get this on there. All right, so check that out. That looks good. That is ready to be soldered onto the board. So let's grab this, and I'm hoping there's no other issues with this console. I'm hoping that this will fix the issue and this will help you guys be able to resolve whatever issue you got going on with your console. So I'm gonna plug this back into the main board. I'm gonna route this over. And first thing we're gonna do is get this soldered on to the ground. So what I want to do is I want to put it at an angle just to make sure. And I'm just going to move that out the way before. I'm not even going to clip that in. I'm going to kind of get this at an angle to where it doesn't touch or bring any continuity to anything else that it doesn't need to. Even though it's not 12 volt, it's just ground. It's not even dangerous. But obviously some type of power surge happened which melted the ground, and that's why it's not wanting to turn on, because it doesn't have proper ground coming from the power supply. So let's go over to the microscope and see if we could be able to get that done. So we popped a little bit of flux on there, as you can see. Sorry, I'm moving the board around a lot, but hopefully you guys can see that. Now we're going to grab our solder iron, and next what we're going to do is we're going to grab our solder, and we're going to pop a little bit of solder onto that ground pin so we can be able to solder down the wire. You can see I got it soldered down at an angle just so it won't touch that 12 volt or won't touch any of the components that sit right behind it. And I'm trying to move it around. As you can see, it's not moving because I got so much solder on there, and I got it stiff to the point where it won't move. And now we can connect this back to the board, and let's go back over to the upper cam. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna take my toothbrush, so let's go ahead and get this put partially back together and see if we now have life or if we have to do further repairs on this console. All right, so time for the moment of truth. I got the console partially back together. That's why I have it standing up instead of laying down. So hopefully you guys can see the light. Okay, so it's been on longer than what it was before. Let's see what we could get on the screen. So let's go over to that HDMI. All right, we actually fixed it by doing that method. Now let's just make sure it could go to the home screen, and it just did that quick. All right, guys, so that was obviously a very successful repair. Now it could have been an array of issues, and I know I stated at the beginning of this video, typically it's not a power supply. I did not expect it to be a power supply wire, so that was very interesting. But like I said, anytime I try to get anything obscure or anything like that, I always want to make sure I try to show you guys, just in case if there's any other repair technicians, or if you're just at your own home trying to figure out how to be able to repair your own issue. Now, if this did not fix your issue, please reach out to us or make a comment down below, and I'll try to get back to you as quickly as possible. We also do service repairs. You can ship in your game consoles. You can bring in your game consoles if you do live in Nebraska or Iowa. Also, if you guys can, please make sure you go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if this did help you out, or if you want to see more repair videos like that. But besides that, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. See ya.